Hello everyone, my name is Makeda Valletta, also known as the Body Scientist. And in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about my Sensual Strength Training Retreat, or let me say intensive, is a better word, and instructor training that I am doing in Santiago de Cuba this summer. So most of you who are following me may already be, or probably already familiar with my class I've been teaching for the last 10 years called Sensual Strength Training. If you are not familiar with it, please check the videos on this YouTube page, on both of my YouTube pages, The Body Scientist 81 and The Renaissance Amazon, where I get more in depth about the class. But the class has three components. One is teaching women how to strength train properly. Exercises for the entire body, for the back, for their chest, for the legs, glutes, like the whole body. How to use resistance training and strength training to increase your lean body mass, which is your bones, making your bones stronger as you age and keeping your muscle, which speeds up your metabolism, helps to keep your shape and take stress off your joints, helps improve your function. So strength training is incredibly important. So that's one part of the class. The second component is learning dances of the African diaspora, especially Afro-Caribbean dances that are rooted in the Congo. So we'll be exploring dances from Haiti, from Cuba, from DR, from Puerto Rico, from Brazil, from Peru, that involve hip movements and shaking and gyrations. And the third part is learning exercises with yoni eggs. Learning exercises, both physical and energetic, with yoni eggs. And so the Sensual Strength Training Intensive will take place in Santiago de Cuba from July 10th through the 14th. And it'll be 25 hours in total. It will be from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. each day, with a break from 12:30 to 1:30. And every day there will be dancing, drumming, yoni egg work, strength training, and woman breast massage. And the total cost, the early bird date was April 1st, but I'm going to extend it to May 1st. So if you pay in full by May 1st, it's $500. Let me just take note of that on here. So I'm going to cross it out. So by May 1st, $500 if you pay in full. The late registration is $650. So after May 1st is $650 if you pay in full. Or you can do a payment plan, which would mean a deposit of $200 by April 15th. Hold on a minute. Deposit $200 by April 15th. Then another $200 by May 15th. And another $200 by June 15th. And the balance of $100 by July 1st. If you do the payment plan, you're paying $700 in total. So deposit of $200 by April 15th, another deposit of $200 by May 15th, another deposit of $200 by June 15th, and then $100 by July 1st. That's the payment plan. Now the Sensual Strength Training instructor training is for people who want to learn how to properly teach these exercises to other women. And it's important to know how to do things properly and teach it properly to women of a variety of backgrounds so that we can make sure that it's effective and safe, okay? So the instructor training will take place from July 17th through the 21st of 2017. It will be 8 hours each day from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. with a lunch break from 12 to 1 each day. And the instructor training, you can expect to learn anatomy and the anatomy of the body, the pelvic floor, and the womb, the physical and physiological causes, complications of women's reproductive systems, dealing with trauma clients. So one thing I've learned from teaching this class is that there are far too many women suffering from sexual trauma of the womb and the vaginal canal. So we're going to learn about dealing with those cases. Also, what does this say? The science behind sacred dances. So a lot of the dances that I've studied intensely, teachers a lot of times don't tell you what they mean and what is really behind them. And so I've spent many years studying that. And so this is going to further make you understand why I believe so much in dances of the African diaspora as a tool to transform trauma and to get better body-mind connection and better control. So That'll be another part. And then also you can expect to learn yoni egg exercises and progressions. You can expect to learn vaginal weightlifting, like how to properly teach vaginal weightlifting, how to properly progress women in vaginal weightlifting. You can expect to learn proper weightlifting and fitness techniques, energetic womb and breast massage, and womb foods. We're going to nutrition as well, okay? And the prerequisites for the instructor training, you should have at least 1 year experience working with yoni eggs. If you have not, and you're still very interested, you can write me, and I will consider it a case-by-case basis. But you should have at least 1 year experience. And you should have experience with dance of some sort, like either recreationally or professionally. And ideally, some type of dances of the African diaspora. You should have some experience with that. You don't need to have a background in fitness. And the early bird rate for the instructor training is $750. If you pay by May 15th, it's $750. And after that, it's $900. If you do the instructor training and the intensive, you will get $200 off the total price. If you have not taken my class before, that's another prerequisite that I forgot to put on here. You should have taken my class at least once before. So if you haven't taken it before, the perfect time would be to take it right before the instructor training happens. And what was I going to say? So those, at the end of the instructor training, there will be testing. But the way I'm teaching you is set up so that hopefully you will pass. You should pass if you're paying attention and doing everything. But, I'm not trying to make it super tough for you. But I do want all the instructors who go through this training to be competent at the end. And there will be 2 qualifications. One will be for teaching sensual strength training, which is all 3 of those components: yoni egg work, the dancing, and the fitness. And the other will be for people who just want to teach the eggs, like if you just want to do that. So if you don't have a background in dance, you don't feel comfortable even going into that, you'll still do it in the instructor training. But if you don't pass that part, or if that's not something that you don't have the prereqs for that part, then you can just learn how to teach the egg work in an effective and safe way. Those who go through the instructor training will have continued support from me. You'll be able to ask me questions. We'll be able to bounce things off each other as a group. So you will have continued support. And also instructor manuals as well. So a few things to know about coming to Cuba is that you will have to get a visa, but you can get the visa at the airport. So the different airlines charge different things. The first time I went, I flew JetBlue. The visa was $50. But the second time I went, I flew Spirit, and the visa was $100. So I now know that American Airlines and, charges $75. So not all of them charge $50. JetBlue charges $50. So you want to look in to see how much the airline that you're choosing to fly charges for a visa. Then know that Cuba is about the size of, from D.C. to Miami. You can say that Havana is where D.C. is and Santiago is where Miami is. Now, JetBlue is the only airline that flies into 4 different parts of Cuba. They fly into Havana, Holguin, Santa Clara, and another part, which I can't remember off the top of my head. So you can fly into one of those other parts. You don't have, Holguin is the closest. The airport code is HOG. It's 2 hours from Santiago. So you can hire a private driver, and maybe it could be a few people who are coming. We can link people up. Or you can take the bus. The bus ride is about 2.5 hours, and it's on a Cuban bus company called Via Azul. So VIAZUL.com. If you look up Cuban buses, Via Azul will come up. The site is in English and Spanish. The bus ticket from Holguin to Santiago is $11. But if you want to fly into Havana and come, you might want to stop in a few different parts of the country and explore. That's up to you. If you have more questions about getting there, please email me directly at thebodyscientist81@gmail.com. I will also put it at the bottom of this video. So there are different ways that you can get there. And the best way to find a place to stay is Airbnb. If you have never used Airbnb, I have a code that you can use that will give you a discount on your first booking. You can find places to yourself for $25 a night in Cuba in Airbnb. But you can also choose to stay at places like rent a room and stay with a family who will cook for you and stuff like that. So there's many different options. Also, one thing to take note of, if you are a vegan or vegetarian, which those of you who follow my work know that that's not, I don't really care about trying to appease vegans and vegetarians because I believe in traditional foods. But Cuba is not a country that is trying to appease to Americans. They're very much in their Cuba bubble, which means that you won't find vegan and vegetarian places and options. But you will find pork everywhere. They heavily eat pork. But check out some of my other videos in Cuba because they have some of the cleanest air supply and food supply in the Caribbean since they've been cut off from the U.S. They have not been forced to monocrop and use all the pesticides and herbicides and GMO like the rest of the Caribbean and South America and North America. So that's another thing that you would want to think about. So also, when you're in Cuba, you cannot get any more money out. Okay, so as an American, we cannot get any more money. We cannot use our bank card. We can't get Western Union. Like, you're done. Okay, so you want to think ahead of time about your budget. You can eat in Cuba for $10 a day. Like, you can eat 3 meals, like depending on where you're eating. But I would say just to give yourself a safe, little window, you should have like maybe $20, $30 a day for food. You can very easily not spend $30 a day. Like, you can, depending on what you choose to eat, you can definitely spend like $5 a day on food. And I'm working to see if I can get a Cuban who can cook for us. I'm going to Santiago. I was supposed to be there now, but my trip got postponed to the end of April, so I'm going to see if I can find someone to cook for us. That sometimes could be a little difficult because of stuff with the government, but so if I'm able to secure that, then I will definitely update you all, let you know. But yeah, you don't need a whole lot of money. You might want to bring toilet paper, like a roll of toilet paper, or a roll or two, because sometimes that can be hard to come by. So if you have any more questions about getting there or, any of that, just feel free to email me at thebodyscientist81@gmail.com. I also suggest that you research Santiago because it's a very sacred site in Cuba. It's the second biggest city in Cuba. Havana is the first. Santiago has a very strong Black culture, Afro-Indigenous culture. I'm working on getting dance teachers from Santiago to also teach you. So when I go there in April, I'm going to secure those things. So there's lots more information coming about this retreat. Well, now I'm going to start calling it a retreat and call it an intensive. Because to me, retreat gives you the vibe that you're like laying around and like getting massages. But like, you're going to be working hard. You're going to leave with a greater understanding of how to take care of yourself, how to take care of your womb, how to strengthen yourself, how to connect, and so it'd be cool. But if anybody has any questions about families coming, because maybe some of you need to bring your kids, or maybe you want to travel with your spouse, or anything like that, please feel free to email me any of those questions. Email me at thebodyscientist81@gmail.com. I think that's all I have to say for now. I'm trying to make sure I said it all. But like I said, if you have any questions, just email me, and I hope to see you there. Okay, ladies. Oh, also, the women who go through the instructor training, not only will you have continued support from me, but you will also be able to purchase yoni eggs from me wholesale. I'm not just about selling yoni eggs to anybody wholesale, because a lot of people selling eggs who don't really know what they're doing. And so I just want to make sure anybody that's trained by me understands how to properly teach people, how to properly advise people. So that's the case. That's what it is. So email me if you have any questions, and I hope this video was helpful. I hope to see some of you there, and have a great day. Bye.